Welcome to Korean Cinema Channel. Today I would like to send you the following news.
Zhao Lusi has truly sabotaged her own career. Just a few days ago, internet personality Hae-in pointed out that she was exploiting the topic of depression and the suffering of people and children in remote mountainous areas for self-promotion. On the surface, it was marketed as a charitable variety show, but in reality, all the focus was carefully directed toward her. Each segment seemed meticulously crafted to generate sympathy and stir public discussion, ultimately boosting her own popularity. However, the program had barely aired before its negative impact became apparent. Public backlash was swift and intense, leading to reports that government authorities had launched an investigation into the matter. Allegedly, this even resulted in Mango TV being summoned for questioning, and the show being pulled off air at first. Many believed this would just be a short-lived scandal, a couple of days of public criticism and it would blow over. But unexpectedly, the situation continued to escalate. Instead of dying down, more damaging revelations surfaced, further intensifying the controversy. What was supposed to be a carefully curated comeback has now turned into one of the most talked about downfalls in recent entertainment history. Zhao's attempt to manipulate public sentiment through manufactured vulnerability not only backfired but also deeply offended the public's sense of empathy and justice. Now, rather than sympathy, she's facing unprecedented scrutiny and widespread criticism, a stark warning about the consequences of misusing public trust for personal gain. New developments have emerged regarding the controversy surrounding actress Zhao Lusi. According to credible sources, Versace has officially cancelled her appearance at an upcoming business event. Notably, the cancellation was not due to any changes in the event itself. Other invited celebrities and brand partners will still attend as scheduled. Zhao Lusi, however, has been the only guest removed from the list, reportedly due to being considered a reputational risk. Insiders reveal that Versace, amid the growing online backlash, established a dedicated risk assessment team tasked with thoroughly vetting all attending artists. Zhao Lusi allegedly failed this background review, and her recent controversies, including accusations of fabricating mental health issues and exploiting poverty for self-promotion, were deemed incompatible with the luxury brand's values and public image. This decision further isolates Zhao Lusi in the entertainment and commercial world. After multiple endorsement deals were quietly dropped or reassigned, such as Lancôme and L'Oréal, this latest exclusion from a high-profile fashion event underscores the severity of her current predicament. Luxury brands typically maintain a strict standard when it comes to public relations. Association with a celebrity facing widespread criticism, especially for ethically charged matters, can result in long-term damage to a brand's image. Therefore, Versace's move to distance itself sends a strong signal that Zhao Lusi's controversy is no longer seen as a temporary scandal but a high-risk liability. Unless Zhao Lusi addresses these concerns transparently and regains public trust, her path back to mainstream recognition may remain uncertain. Many people don't fully understand the strategy behind the brand Versace. Known for its bold and unapologetic image, Versace has developed a reputation for aggressively tapping into the Chinese entertainment industry. It's clear the brand is eager to claim its share of the booming domestic market. Whenever a celebrity begins to rise in popularity, Versace often rushes to sign them, sometimes without waiting for their public image to solidify. Even when scandals hit, Versace doesn't always sever ties. As long as the fan base remains strong and the consumer power of those fans stays high, the brand seems willing to hold its nose and continue the partnership. A prime example is Hae-in. Despite his major public fallout and intense scrutiny over the past year, Versace recently signed him as a brand ambassador to outsiders. This may seem baffling. But in the world of high fashion, emotional loyalty matters less than economic value. If fans are still willing to open their wallets, that loyalty often outweighs the damage of a tarnished image. For Versace, it's a calculated risk. Bad press can be weathered, but fan-driven revenue is immediate and tangible. This approach also reveals how luxury brands view the Chinese market, not just as a place to build prestige, but as a battlefield of consumer spending. Versace's recent actions show they were less concerned with clean reputations and more focused on who can bring in sales. Ultimately, it's not about morality, it's about money. Versace and Zhao Lusi have maintained a strong partnership for several years. The brand has consistently treated her with high regard, largely due to the impressive spending power of her fan base. Even as recently as April, Versace released a major featuring Zhao Lusi, a clear signal that the collaboration was still going strong. What's more, Zhao Lusi's health had reportedly improved, and she had resumed regular appearances at various public events. Everything seemed to be back on track, until the sudden and unexplained cancellation of her appearance at a recent Versace business event. The abrupt absence raised many eyebrows, especially since other invited celebrities attended as scheduled without issue. What makes this situation particularly intriguing is Versace's well-known reputation for being bold and unyielding. This is a brand that has continued to work with scandal-tinged celebrities in the past, as long as their commercial value remained intact. For such a brand to walk away from someone as profitable as Zhao Lusi suggests that the controversy surrounding her may be far more serious than it initially appeared. In a way, this decision speaks volumes. For Versace to cut ties with a figure once considered a cash cow implies that the current risks, whether in terms of reputation, public backlash, or even regulatory pressure, outweigh the financial benefits. It's a rare moment where business pragmatism overtakes loyalty or brand inertia. Ultimately, the incident leaves fans and the public alike speculating, what really happened behind the scenes? And just how significant is the fallout that even a brand as famously fearless as Versace decided to step away recently? Public opinion surrounding Zhao Lusi has been overwhelmingly negative, but it hasn't reached the level of an official ban. After all, her controversy stems from moral issues, not criminal activity. In the Chinese entertainment industry, regulatory authorities typically don't impose strict punishments unless laws are broken. If the standards were that high, artists like Kazukin and Song Zhuo wouldn't have resurfaced after their scandals. Only those who have committed serious crimes, like Chris Wu or Lina Fan, face permanent blacklisting and total career termination. As it stands, Zhao Lusi is more likely to receive what's known as a soft ban, a period of quiet where she's kept out of the public spotlight, with no major endorsements or screen appearances. It's a cold treatment, but not a death sentence for her career. This kind of handling is similar to what happened with Angela Baby, Zhang Jiaoye, or even Lu Han. After lying low for a few months, there's still a chance to return to the spotlight. Whether she can reclaim public favor, however, is a different story. The key question is not whether authorities will let her come back, they likely will. The real challenge is whether brands, directors, and audiences still have the willingness to support her. Trust and image are everything in the entertainment industry, and once they are broken, rebuilding them takes more than just time. It takes the right moves, sincerity, and sometimes, a bit of luck. Some might not understand why Zhao Lusi would make such a questionable move. However, if we take a closer look at her rise to stardom, this behavior actually makes sense. Zhao Lusi's journey from being a third-tier actress to becoming a top-tier celebrity is marked by a pattern of strategic, attention-grabbing tactics. Early on, she relied heavily on publicity stunts and sensationalized promotion. Whenever things seemed to quiet down, she would stir up a storm of controversy to regain the spotlight. Whether it's a careless slip of the finger on social media, a seemingly innocent like on a controversial post, or even a hacked account, these are all standard techniques for generating buzz and keeping herself relevant. This kind of marketing approach isn't new in the entertainment world, especially among rising stars. It's a way to ensure that the public doesn't forget about you and that you stay in the news cycle, even if it means creating a bit of chaos. Zhao Lusi, just like many others, has used these methods to her advantage. The trick lies in the ability to maintain public attention, no matter how controversial or unflattering the topic may be. And while it may raise questions about her strategies, the reality is that, for many celebrities, this is just the cost of staying in the game. It's all part of the game of fame, and for some, it's the only game they last. Year, Zhao Lusi's new drama faced tough competition with Yu Shuxin's, and she suffered a significant defeat. This setback had quite a big impact on her, as she went an entire year without any major drama releases, causing a noticeable drop in her popularity. In an attempt to regain her momentum, she possibly decided to rely on the same old tactics. Feeling confident, she may have thought of pulling off something big, not only to take her career to the next level but also to strike back at her agency. However, her plan backfired in a way that no one expected. She pushed too hard and couldn't rein it back in. Instead of boosting her career, she found herself in a situation where she couldn't stop the damage she had caused. Instead of gaining more success, her actions ended up becoming self-destructive. What was meant to be a bold move turned into a disaster, and she ended up digging her own grave, effectively burying her career prospects. Her confidence and risky moves may have been an attempt to regain the spotlight, but in the end, it only worsened her situation. Rather than advancing her career, She made choices that led to her undoing. This serves as a reminder of how dangerous it can be to rely too much on controversy and manipulation to sustain fame, especially when those moves backfire and create irreversible damage. It can be said that Zhao Lusi's luck pushed her to a height she perhaps didn't deserve, and her mindset isn't on par with her achievements. A top-tier celebrity must have a steady mindset, especially when you're making 2.08 million RMB a day. How can a few criticisms break you? If you look at the predecessors, many of them were heavily criticized and even told to leave the entertainment industry, but they still maintain their position at the top. Zhao Lusi clearly doesn't have that kind of mentality. She places too much value on the attention and traffic she receives. Whether it's fussing over her appearance or trending on social media, she's more concerned with that than focusing on her craft. If she spent less time on these distractions and put more effort into improving her acting skills, she might end up facing less criticism in the entertainment industry. There will always be scrutiny, and there will always be people who criticize you. But it's important to stay grounded and focus on the work. Zhao Lusi seems to have been caught up in the chaos of being in the limelight, and it has affected her ability to cope with challenges. Instead of relying on controversy for attention, she could have used her time and energy to refine her skills, which might have helped her handle the pressure better and possibly reduce the negative attention. It can only be said that when virtue doesn't match the position, disaster is inevitable. Zhao Lusi, like Angela Baby, has the ability to only achieve a 70 out of 100, but she was forcibly pushed to a 90. It's only natural for her to eventually fall. Hopefully, after stumbling a couple of times, she will learn the painful lesson. Both Zhao Lusi and Angela Baby are prime examples of individuals whose fame was elevated faster than their skills could support. While their appeal and popularity brought them into the limelight, their lack of solid abilities meant that maintaining their top-tier status became increasingly difficult. Eventually, when the public's expectations clash with their actual talents, a fall from grace is inevitable in the world of entertainment, where hard work and talent should drive success. Shortcuts often lead to a steep and unforgiving fall. Hopefully, these stumbles will serve as a wake-up call, not just for Zhao Lusi, but also for others who rely too heavily on external factors like controversy and fame to stay relevant, rather than focusing on their craft and building long-term, sustainable success.
Thank you for watching my channel. See you in the next videos. Thanks.